G'day, it's Jono Break here with Monday Myth Check, and this one's going a little bit random. So I used to be in the marketing game. It always fascinated me when I came to a client. We'd start talking about their marketing and they say, I don't spend any money on marketing. Everything I do is word of mouth. Word of mouth marketing is a great way to market, right? So you have your customers, you have other people talking about you to your prospective clients. But I want to just think about this for a minute. I don't spend any marketing. All my marketing is word of mouth. There are limitations to word of mouth marketing. Basically, it requires someone who knows you, knows of you, to share you with somebody else. And so they're giving you, and so you might call it a referral or whatever. But at the end of the day, that word of mouth marketing, people talking about you, we see that a bit today with viral videos and so forth. It's got a limitation, all right? And the limitation is other people talking about you, which brings me to the second issue that we might have where it's your only strategy is, how do you know what they're saying? I used to deliver a workshop called Wombat. It's an Australian animal and a term we use called word of mouth best advertising technique. And so the idea was to create a strategic approach to word of mouth marketing. And so the idea being that you would actually train your clients, you would create the messages, you would develop the systems and the processes so that your clients were part of your strategy in terms of how they actually talked about you, how they shared you with somebody else, how they even wrote like a compliment or a review about you, all those sorts of things. And we see people doing this, we see people doing this not so well. So that's the other piece there is, how do you know what they're saying? If word of mouth is your best strategy, right? How do you know what they're saying? Which comes back to the fact that, do you actually have a marketing plan? Do you have a strategy to help build out your word of mouth marketing? And so that's the challenge. Now, the other piece tends to imply that it's free, right? And so that means that I'm not investing into effective word of mouth, what my clients are saying, the workflows, the processes, the systems to make that as easy as possible for my client to recommend me. So a couple of challenges there when we think word of mouth is my best marketing technique. It is a great technique, don't get me wrong. You want your clients talking about you. You want people who don't even know you talking about you, particularly if it's positive, and being able to build that kind of that PR, build that sense of presence, build that sense of that you are preeminent in your market. And so having people talking about you helps you do that. So it is an important tool. It is a cost-effective tool, obviously, but you do need to invest some time and effort into it. And that's where you need to think about, okay, maybe you don't have an overall marketing strategy. There are other strategies and tactics and techniques that you do need to employ in your business, okay? Not just, I'm just relying on someone to talk about me. Just simply a strategy to help people talk better about you and tell your story, but then simply, and then beyond that is, okay, there's other things I need to do. I need to invest well in my brand. I need to invest in the storytelling and the messaging and the website. So let's talk about this in terms of an action, okay? So how are you going to implement? So if people are telling stories about you, let's talk about how you build a storytelling strategy. Now, there are a lot of great tools out there. StoryBrand is one that I'm very familiar with, but there are a lot of great tools out there you can use to help you tell your story better, okay? A lot of our stories throw us at the center of it. They talk about how great we are, what we can do for you, what we believe. And it's like, blah, no one really cares until they actually get to know you, right? And so, or if they're intrigued, they'll go and find that stuff out, right? So what you got to do is when you start to think about what's the story I want to tell and how do I want my clients to convey that story? Create some unique tags, some unique ways of saying things so that they're using your language. I do that all the time in my leadership training sessions and so forth as well. And when I hear my leaders saying some of the things that I talk about back to me, it's really comforting. It means it's sinking in, it means it matters and it's making sense. So come up with a storytelling strategy. Think about how you might do that. And I'd love to hear what your story is and how you convey yourself, but develop a great story strategy so that your customers aren't confused about what they need to say when they're recommending you, when they are your word of mouth. I'm Jono Break. This has been Monday Myth Check. I don't spend money on marketing, just rely on word of mouth. As always, enjoy the journey. Well, g'day, it's Jono Break here today, and I want to quickly talk to you about self-awareness in leadership and a DISC program that I'm launching. So one of the areas that I'm really well trained in, worked in for 15 to 20 years, is this assessment tool called DISC. And it basically helps you understand how people behave, how they interact with each other, how they connect, how they disconnect as well, how they can handle conflict, how they coach, how they guide, all these different things. But at the end of the day, it comes from this really important premise that the most important thing in a great leader is an understanding of their own space, their own disposition, their self-awareness. So this DISC workshop is designed to be a simple multi-video process where you can unpack DISC and you can look at it in terms of your own space. You'll do an assessment, so you'll know what your assessment is, and then you go through the videos and you can then book a 15 to 20 minute session with me at the end if you want to. But then also think about, okay, how does this apply to my team? And should we be doing this into your team? But this is where we're at today. I want you to think about coming and doing this DISC workshop with me. It's all online, so you can do it at your own pace, and then we can chat at the end. Hope you're enjoying the journey. I'm looking forward to seeing you on my DISC workshop.